Hi everyone, welcome to another series of the New Zealand Women in you get it, we're here, it's Imperfect Action, the real highlight reels of Kiwi women in business, and I can't wait to introduce my amazing guest, Chrissie. Chrissie, do me the honours, tell us the name of your biz and where you're from.
Oh, thanks, Nat. My business is called Chrissie Live Life Coach, and it does what it says. We life and we coach. And I live in a teeny tiny little place in the bottom end of the South Island called Tapanui, which is in the middle of nowhere. There are 902 of them, us, and me and my husband are the two. So yeah, it's a really cool place to be.
What's your closest big town?
Big-ish town is Gore, which is about 25 minutes drive, and then you would go Dunedin, which is a two-hour drive. So yeah, we're really close to all the amenities. Everything we need.
I'm so excited about having you on this series, babe, because you represent, I think, a really large segment of the women in business out there who are, I suppose, straddling that whole having a job and setting up their business. And you've done it really well. And I know that because I attract high achievers, it's taking you a little while to recognize you're doing a really bloody good job because you were in full-time employment and trying to do your business in the weekends, and now you're 3 days with 2 days working your biz, which is a massive accomplishment. What I'd love for you to kick us off with, babe, is tell us the journey. Like, why did you want to not just stay in a job, and how did you get started?
Oh, I thought you said this was only 20 minutes, Nat.
Yeah.
Well, in a nutshell, it all kicked off when I was a mostly stay-at-home mum running at one stage 3 part-time jobs, and my husband worked full-time. So, we're doing okay, but just, I needed to do more. Heard an ad for Teachers College on the radio. I thought, oh, that'd be quite good. So I committed 3 years of my life to go and do that. I thought, oh, that'd be quite good. And it was quite good. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this job, which is meant to be 9 to 5, is actually 7 days a week. And I love it. I love teaching. It's cool. And so I thought, what else am I good at? What can I do? Another thing came up on my screen. I was like, oh, I love that. I'm really good at talking and I like listening. And I think I'm good at listening. So I went away and did the life coaching course, which was huge and intense. And an amazing week of my life. So I kicked off and started, and I was like, yay, this is cool. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing stuff, and I attracted people to me, and I paid somebody a lot of money for a website, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. And then it stopped happening, and I didn't know why. And then Nat popped up my screen. So I don't even know, Nat, how did you get into my inbox?
I actually don't know. We've been together for ages. I don't know how it
happened. And so I didn't jump on board straight away, Nat. It was like you were over there being this, for me, a really shiny object, going, oh my God, she's doing stuff, and she's had very similar experiences to me. And I was like, oh. And I remember it was summer of 2018, and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I was beating myself up big time inside. And I knew enough to know that that's what I was doing, but I didn't know how to get out of it. And so what I saw was your advertisements of this really real lady who was a mum, part-time job, kicked your jobs, pardon me, and was working your biz, trying to make it work so that it worked. And I guess that's what it's all about, isn't it? I want this to work so that it works. So that's what I think attracted me to yourself. And I remember our first conversation. I booked in a time or something, and about an hour and a quarter I was still talking. And I remember going, oh, I don't think I meant to talk for this long. So it was really cool. I obviously did a big dump on you, and then you've been able to shimmy out. But just to let you know that, I know that I didn't jump on board straight away. It was kind of like, well, I've done that now, so why isn't it happening? So, it's about hanging around people who you want to be, who are where you want to be, and catch their coattails so that you get some good stuff to go with. And I had to hang around you in the wings, as it were, long enough to know that actually I need help, because I asked my lovely ladies that work with me to let me help them, so I need to let somebody help me, and that's how we're here today.
I think what's nice about that story that you're sharing is that it's the long game with business. So for you may have found me, then it took a while for you to then come forward, and I think that's what a lot of people forget, is it's not the instant you know, you just saw an advert and you're like, hey Nat, you know, book me in. It often, you know, that's 1 to 3% of people who see you. So I love that. However you found me, it would have been through your bright shiny object scrolling, which we all fall victim of. But I'd love for you to talk into that, because we both know that that's possibly been a bit of an Achilles heel for you, is that feeling of FOMO, oh, I need that course and program because I need to know all the things. So can you talk into that?
Yeah, for sure. I've spent thousands of dollars buying bright, shiny objects. And even since joining with you, Nat, you know, something comes on, I go, I need that one. And then, as you mentioned, I feel like I can't do anything else until I've finished that one thing, because I've paid money for that one thing, which it has promised me the universe, and I've gotten some good stuff out of all sorts of different one things. But they do trip you up in terms of they're so glossy at the front end. They're so glossy. They don't take into account that you might work full-time or part-time, or have children, or have a partner, or there's stuff going on in your world that you need to deal with. And so when you find a person who you sit with really comfortably, so like yourself, for me, it's like, well, you get it that one day I'm going to ring up and go, I can't make this meeting today because I've been called into my other work. And, you know, and there's that mindset in there that, you know, I need to do some work to get some money so I can do some work over here to get some money to free me from the thing that's giving me the money. And that's actually quite a vicious circle, which you have to have a really good mindset about. And that's one that I'm working on at the moment, about how I can love money enough to know that it's coming to me, even though I'm not quite sure where it is, but I'm still getting money. And so I need to use it for the best purpose for me, and that it serves me well.
It's a good point about money, isn't it? About when we do a lot of work about money mindset, don't we? In terms of like acknowledging that money is there regardless of how it comes in, because money is money, and going, well, actually you are attracting all this money. Have you acknowledged it? Because otherwise, as high achievers, we can constantly be moving that bar all the time. So back to like the serial downloader, the bright shiny object. And I'm that person too, right? I'm that person too. At the very beginning, I was like, that's the magic wand. And you're so right that they're very glossy at the front end. But if you don't have that audience to begin with, and also something else I'd love you to talk into is, if you're not technically minded, how hard has it been to jump online?
Oh, so anyone listening, you can vomit right now, because it's horrific what that does to you. When you jump into all the bright shiny things at once, it's, you just need to do this in the back end of your Facebook, you just need to do that in the back end of your web page, or blah 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 blah. You know, making funnels, making things that attract people to you. And if it didn't work in 30 seconds for me, I was like, computer gone. And then it was too hard, and I couldn't make it work, because for the people who do that all the time, if that's their thing, it's easy for them, and they forget that coming on board as a novice. So one of the things which you helped me with was that I needed to outsource some stuff, and that comes back to that money mindset, is that I was attracting money, but I was just keeping it over here and not spending it back in my business. And one of the things in my business that needed to move forward was some of the technical stuff. I mean, just having a booking system online, well, it costs money, but I didn't want to spend the money, because, well, I don't even know why. We'll leave that one to the gods. And by booking in someone, a booking system, now I have clients come to me and they're sitting there, and I haven't had to do all this energy. And so that's where money as an exchange of energy is really important to somehow get a grasp of, because I've done some work, I've earned some money, now I give the money to something else that's going to save me energy and stress, because the money's the energy transfer rather than my time and my frustrations.
Did you know going into setting up your own business that these were going to be blocks? Were they like, what the hell, I didn't know that about myself? Yeah.
No, because I've always thought that I could do anything. And as a young child at school, I was always like, I always wanted to win. Like, I knew I could win, but I never actually did win. Like, I was, but I was confident enough in myself to think that I could. And I remember feeling pretty disappointed, you know. I could never win a running race, and I was never in the best sports teams. And or if I did manage, if you made it into an A team one time for netball and ended up on the bench, you know, like that's a really great place to be. Yay, I'm the reserve.
So that story, how do you deal with that in your business life? Because, you know, the woman I deliberately go out there attract other high achievers who get annoyed with themselves because they're not winning, or they actually are, but they just don't see it. So how do you deal with that?
Well, that's a journey, isn't it? And I love it. Yes. And more of a process. So, well, one of the things that you've taught me along the way is mindset. And you always say you have to get your mindset right before the action steps can happen productively or financially, or, you know, whatever, positively. And so where I'm at the moment is that I can give things a go and try. And if I don't win, I don't go plummeting down. Whereas before it was like, yeah, I won. Oh, it didn't work. Yeah, I won. Oh, it didn't work. And when you're down in the it doesn't work, it's not a productive place to be. So now
it's inconsistent, right?
Yeah. And so now I just kind of like wriggle through the middle, and it's okay.
Oh, nice.
Like my leg hasn't been chopped off. I can give things a go, and if they don't work, I can. And instead of beating myself up about it, now I go, oh, well, if I was to do it again, I would do this differently next time. Not that was shit. I need to do it different altogether. It was like, oh, next time I'll step out and do something differently. So your banter about get your mindset right is so true. And it takes time, Nat. Oh my goodness. You know, we're 2 years into hanging out via Zoom, and I feel confident in saying that now, that I could give just about anything a go and know that if it didn't succeed in whatever that means, because it's different for everyone, that I'll be okay. I'll be okay, and I'll just go to bed, get up the next day and carry on.
I want to talk about your successes though, because you have actually been really successful. And when you first came out of the gate and you had your website set up and we started seeing each other, you were doing events, you had clients. Tell us about the cool things that have happened in your biz.
Oh, well, I'm so excited. One of the things I love to do is talk. And so I decided to throw. I'd had a few clients. I did a radio ad actually. Oh, what do famous people do? Oh, they do radio ads. Okay, I'll do one. I went away and did that. And it was funky and fun. And I heard myself. I'd be wandering around stores in our local town, and my Chrissie Live life coach, blah blah blah, on the radio. So it's kind of self-effacing. So I did that for a short time, and then on the tail end of that, I decided I would have a mojo hunting event, because part of what I do is help women find their mojo so they can find the courage to empower themselves. So that's the essence of
that's awesome.
What I like to do. And a good way to do it is with a bunch of ladies, because us girls, we all like to do things together. So it took approximately 8 weeks driving past the venue before I actually went in to book the venue that I wanted to have it at, a really nice hotel conference centre in our local big town there. And the really funny thing was, I'd have butterflies at night. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I wouldn't do it. And I'd drive past and go, oh, next week. And on the day I did it, it was just like going in to buy a loaf of bread. Daft as that. So it's about just writing it down and going, I'm going to do it. And so, I did that. And so I've now held 5 mojo hunting events with slightly different titles. And I've worked with over 100 women now via those and on one-on-one people. And it's just awesome. And you beat yourself up because you get to the next level and you go, oh, I'm not that big shiny object I see coming down the internet. But actually where I've come from to where I am now, it's a wonderful platform to keep building.
I want to celebrate that for you, because you've done all of that without what I call the bells and whistles. Yeah, sure, you've got a website, but you're only now just got your branding professionally done, an online booking system. You know what I mean? Like, you've done a lot of those hard yards without all of those bells and whistles. Probably because I made you do it without the bells and whistles, but because those bells and whistles end up being the leverage point which catapult you faster. So I think it's amazing that you've done that from the, kudos to you for knowing that you're offering and the results that you get for people is that it's standalone. And I think that's very important for business foundations, that what you do is good enough without all the bells and whistles.
Like the first event I held, I attracted 26 people, and every single one of those people messaged me and said, yes, I'd like to come. How do I pay? And I would message them my bank account number, and then message them back, and then they would say, well, do I have to print something out? And I have to message them back and say, no, you're on the list, you can come. And then they'd print it, and then they'd, can I bring a friend? Yes, you can bring a friend. Here's the bank, I've lost the bank account number, here's the bank account number again. So, that really, like running a marathon backwards, really. So by noticing that, being able to source out one little role of I use just a booking system, and the first time its weight was on my third Mojo hunting event. 2 nights before it went, I had about 30, must have been 36 people had said they were coming, and that was really cool. 2 nights before, some lady booked 7. She brought her mum and her nana and her sister and her cousin, and I don't think that would have happened if it was like that really earthy, down to earth transaction, because when you're doing it online, sometimes there's that anonymity. And I know myself, when I buy stuff, it's like, I don't want to talk to you, I want to buy it. So, this swings and roundabouts for both ways, I guess, Nat.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, because I sell primarily to Kiwi women, how we like to buy is we do like that personal touch. We don't just, yes, we want the anonymity, and I hope I've said that right, people. But we also want to know that we've been seen and that there's a person, and that. So I love that whole down to earth sales as a conversation. Don't take the person out of it. What I'd love for you to talk into, because remember, we want to talk about the real highlight reels, and so that's the ups and the downs, the lowlights and the highlights. I'd love for you to talk about, when you first came out, you're having that really good high, and then there was a little bit of a slump down before we kind of like kicked you out the butt to get back up. Talk about why do you think you went down there, and what's helped you kick yourself back up?
Oh, well, why you feel rubbish is because you see all the highlight reels and you think that everybody is all on flipping all the time, and they're not, because we all do it. We only put our good stuff on because we don't want people to see when we're having a bad day and our lipstick's around our ear and the kids have slop food on us or stuff like that. We want people to think we're perfect, and we are none of us perfect. So that slump happens when you've given something a go and it mostly worked, and you thought, yay, that was great, and you just think it's going to go exponential, but it doesn't, and then you feel like you're rubbish. So because of the highlight reels of other people, so it's about knowing that when you see, and sometimes I watch stuff now and I go, oh, she's having a good day. Oh, she's having a good day. Oh, get rid of that. I want to see someone having a bad day. But you beat yourself up, and unless you get your mind set around the fact that it's part of the process, you're going to do this thing. It may or may not work, but you're going to do it. You'll learn something, and the next thing you're going to do, and of course it does not happen in 1 week, and that's
damn it.
Damn it. And you share that all the time. You say, this didn't happen in 1 week for me, and now you're at a place where you can look back and go, shivers, there's been a lot of weeks that have got me to this point. And yes, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's it's actually,
and even at this point in business, there's like, I'll go put offers out and strategies out and they flop. Yeah. And I think that's the whole thing to try and teach people, is that that's just business. Some things work, some things don't. And it's not about you, it's been detaching it from you. And I think you do that really well, where you're just like, the reason why you want to do this is bigger than it. Well, it didn't work right. What's next? Yeah,
exactly. And somewhere, and I don't know if this is legal, I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm going to start. And look at this. This is on my notice board. Some will, some won't.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember. It's what something equals move on.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember that, but some will, some won't. Move on. That'll do. So I've got that on my little board up there. There you go.
So I've written a book, And I've heard that you have a draft of a book that you're writing. Tell me about that. You didn't know I was going to throw that in today.
You didn't, because you've popped my perfectionism button or balloon. Yes, I have a book. I've got about 5 chapters written, and I've had 5 chapters written for some time, which is quite good. The good thing about my book is that at the moment I decided I was going to write a book, I asked a really good friend of mine who I admire her business acumen in like not an online field and outside and bricks and mortar stuff, and she's just an awesome wordsmith. Got lots of stuff going. I said, I need to write a book. I need you to help me plan it. So I've actually got on an enormous brown piece of paper, thank you School World for providing me the access to enormous pieces of brown paper. And so I planned it. So the book is planned.
That's exciting.
Every now and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I have this idea and I go, oh my goodness, that needs to be part of my book. So, and I write it. I get up. One night I was up for about an hour and a half and I just wrote screeds and I was really happy with it. Obviously that's at the baby end net, and but it's a thing that when I finally, somewhere in here, it has to work, commit to that, I know that it'll pop out, and I know that it'll be really helpful to women, because I'm pretty raw and real, you know, like we move part of our house, and in my mojo hunting events I talk about, you know, standing in front of the mirror naked, because if you're not standing in front of the mirror naked at least once a week looking at you and loving you, then you can't move on. You have to love you. And so for me, when that book finally comes out, there's going to be a whole lot of women go, oh my God, that naked woman is hilarious. And I can
You've just come up with your book cover, like, you know, that calendar where they're like hiding behind like pots of, you need to be naked but hidden by pots of like plants. Oh my God. The naked you've just named it.
Oh my God, I've got, can I get a recording of this recording? Write that down. Naked man. Oh yeah, oh my God, that's so cool. And yeah, just brainstorming with people was awesome.
I'd love for you to share something you really want a woman in business right now who maybe is a stay-at-home mum or is working and she is straddling her full-time job, like real startup. What do you want to say to her?
That you can do it. You can do it. What I have learnt to do with my school job, especially when I cut down to 3 days a week, was I had to compartmentalize.
All the big words for the Friday.
Oh my God. And so now, when I go to school, which is 3 days a week, those 3 days a week, I'm pretty hardcore school, and I stay late and I do it and I get it done. And I don't have small children at home, so I do have that luxury. But I'm making sure that I'm doing school when I'm doing school, and I do it to the best of my ability. Because I fell into that trap of going to school and kind of faffing, because I was going to be leaving soon because I have my other business going on. And so what that does is it attracts shitty stuff to your day at school. And so you're not doing it properly. So I can commit, do on the 3 days. And that means on my other 4 days of the week, because, you know, there are 4 more other days of the week, that I schedule in my work for me, and then I do it. And my work for me includes downtime for me, you know. I'm seeing a lady at the moment and I'm talking about my physical well-being. And so I schedule that in and just have that opportunity for me to download with her. And it's really good for me. So the biggest take home, I guess, for someone in that position is that you can do it, and it won't happen overnight. It absolutely will not happen overnight. So if you expect that, then you can put the things in place so that it gradually happens, and it will happen over some months, some years, and depending on, it's an incremental process, isn't it? So every little bit you do builds on the next bit. It's not like if something happens in your world and you can't do your biz for a month, you know, sick children, sick mother, sick self, it doesn't mean everything before that's gone away. It's like every little bit. It's like every little bit you read out of a really good book or listen to on Audible. Every time you hear it, it builds up, and you'll just grow stronger. And then at some point you'll go, oh, I'm here. I'm at this point. And get help. Get help from someone else, because you cannot do it by yourself. It says so entrepreneur, doesn't it? Like we brand ourselves as solo entrepreneurs. I'm in a place now I can say that I have hired. Okay. I've paid 5 different people.
Yeah, well
to
done.
help me. And what put me off doing that in the first place was that it was like, I thought that I had to pay them an annual salary or something, but no, you just go, because I was like, oh, I'm going to have to do all this myself. You go in contractually and you go, hey, can someone help me with my Facebook page for a month? Oh, I've just met another lady, 6. So 6 people I've been able to pay to do little jobs for me that save me a huge amount of time and huge amount of stress.
Yeah, that's very clear. That's smart business lady. Tell everyone where we can come follow you and your website.
Okay, and I'll speak slowly because I love talking fast. My website's called chrissielivelifecoach.nz. My Facebook page is called the same, Chrissie Live Life Coach. And when you jump on Chrissie Live Life Coach, you will notice that off to the side there's a little a private group called Courage Crew. And in the Courage Crew, that's where I invite women only. So it's a really safe place, Nat, to come. And I give them loads more than I give on my free public site. So following my public site, I post on there probably 2 or 3 times a week, little snippets to help you with your day. In the Courage Crew, there's a Sunday night Words of Wisdom, and that's just for 10 minutes, where I'll give you something a little bit meatier and a little bit more focused that you can focus on for the week. And, you're able to ask questions in there. Some people ask them on, the live button, and most people are private message because, we all want to protect ourselves and keep ourselves safe. So they are the 2 places to jump on board is email, website and Facebook page. But within the Facebook page is that special place where you can be amazing and have that high end tips and tricks to help you find your mojo. And for me, it's about, because I call myself the mojo hunter, and by asking women who feel lost to find some courage to step out, that's when they'll find their mojo. It's just because they've lost that courage, that they're too frightened to step out for whatever reason. And yeah, that's what I do, and that's what you'll find on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, lovely. I really appreciate you taking the time to jump on here and share your real highlight reels. And I think it's so important. I know that a lot of people are going to get a lot of goodness out of what you've shared with today. So thank you so much, babe.
Thank you, Nat. Cheers.
Bye. I was at the end, we wave. I've got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Ka kite anō.